of your hosts, the hardcore hippie, the indie icon, electrifying also, otherwise known as Eric frickin' Freedom, from the Wrestling Revolution podcast. With me, as always, current heavyweight champion of, we discovered this on the pilot episode. I just don't want to say UWE, that's being selfish when he has like 30 frickin' belts for 20 companies.
I only have 4.
Greeko.
I only have 4.
Greeko Suave.
I love your introduction, by the way.
It was smooth.
It was very nice.
It was like
a way to put yourself over.
What? I put you over? I put you over? I don't have any belts. What's more important? Mine are just nicknames. They're useless.
Useless.
What are they gonna do? They're gonna be on my tombstone when I'm dead. Here lays the hardcore hippie indie icon, and he was electrified. I mean, that's as far. Like, but belts, they're a little important at times. Not all the time.
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. Yeah. It depends how well a company protects their belts.
Absolutely.
And to keep the meaning. Because, you go places and some belts don't mean shit.
No.
And it sucks.
So, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast.
We're back.
We're back. We had a little break.
I don't know. Is it by popular demand? Or is it just
it's by our demand.
There you go.
I think we've listened to it more than anyone else. So if there's like 70 views on it, like that was us just re-listening to it because we're like marks for ourselves. I think that's what it is.
Probably.
Yeah. But we had a good weekend. Greeko came to Cadillac, Michigan, made the drive up here, and we had a Greek festival weekend.
You guys did. I was very impressed.
Yeah. Why don't you tell him what happened?
I walked into the house and you kept putting it over to like the whole weekend leading up to it, like building it up. Like, hey, Mom was making this great dish.
Dude,
like,
she was so excited.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that.
I was excited.
And I'm like, man, all right. Like, what are the options? Like, what are they gonna make? There's so many different things. Like, and what you guys made. Like, I wouldn't even think you guys would have made it because that's like a traditional. And it's like a complicated dish.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of steps to it.
Yeah.
Like my mom, like when she says, maybe I'll make it, maybe not, because it's like a 4-hour ordeal.
Yeah, and I would say that I know it's a big deal. I can't. I could say I heard it was a big deal because I didn't actually help prepare that. That was all Mama.
But and how long did it take her though? Like it took her a long. It took.
Yeah, we started the night before. She started cutting stuff up and.
So like you guys made me moussaka.
I've built bombs that were easier.
Moussaka you guys made, which is a Greek dish, which is pretty much like this cream on top, ground beef, potatoes, and eggplant. Seasoned,
yeah.
Baked. But like you can't just throw it in the oven. You have to cook the ground beef. You gotta.
It's a long process.
You gotta cook make the cream on top, and then you gotta make the eggplant, and then you gotta put it all together. Then you gotta bake it. Like I was very impressed, and it was very good.
It was good. That's
good.
Really the first real Greek food. I think.
Thank you, Mama, for the.
Dude, it was good.
Greek cuisine.
And for those
that I had in Cadillac, Michigan, I would never thought in a million years
in Cadillac,
Michigan, and have a great Greek dish.
Never. You think you come here, pick up a dime bag, and score some meth, and you head to Traverse City. Right. No, yeah, it was really. And for those that don't understand, like who haven't eaten eggplant, you might think it's gross, but I will say to me, it tasted like a lasagna. Like it just tasted like a lasagna with
and there's
meat
another dish that's very similar to what Mama made, and it's called pasticcio, and it's like literally the same concept, but instead of eggplant and potatoes, it's ground beef and like spaghetti noodles.
Oh,
that's like really good.
Yeah. Mama don't dig on spaghetti noodles. She likes like angel hair pasta and stuff. She don't dig on the big stuff. But yeah, so it was a good weekend, and then we spent the whole day, folks, playing Call of Duty World at War. Yeah, I do, because I've never sat on my couch for like 10 hours and tried to get to a level just out of it and just sit here and grind through it.
We made it to level 15 but lost in level 15. Yeah, so I don't even count that we made it.
No, and we were armed to the hilt, and then I pulled, what was that guy's name? Leroy Jenkins.
Oh my god, that is like one of the greatest clips ever.
If you guys have ever played multiplayer, and whether it be multiplayer or a game where you have to strategize, they were playing World at Warcraft, and they went through like seriously a 5-minute thing on this guy was talking about what's our plan. Yeah, like what's our percent? You make sure to heal. You cast your spells. You put on this.
You're doing that.
And there's 20 suckers on the screen, and he's walking around like you're really watching it.
What's our percentage?
How are we
Somebody do the
gonna
math.
do this?
Somebody do the math. What's our percentage of success rate? And the guy's like 33.
Guy's like 30. Yeah, he says 33%, and another guy goes, "Oh, that's the best we've ever had." And then this other idiot goes, screams his name. He's like, "That's it, Leroy Jenkins," and he runs in on his own. The whole team's standing there. There's like a moment of pause where they realize, "Oh shit, he just ran in.
what?
Where's he at?" And then they all went in and died and lost all their characters and were really pissed at Leroy Jenkins. So for me, that was a funny. Look it up on YouTube, guys. It's
Leroy
worth it.
Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins.
World of Warcraft.
Oh my God.
It will make you laugh.
It is so funny if you're a gamer, so enjoy that. So yeah, we had a good weekend of a little bit of Rock Band, a little bit of the relaxation.
And you know what's funny is that usually when you and me get together,
It's a lot of business.
well, it's not even that a lot of business, but like
It is though.
when we talk over the phone, like we're just talking, we're friends, obviously, like
Yeah.
we're best friends, and
Yeah.
we just talk like normal people. But when we get in person, we're always like, oh hey, like wrestling this, wrestling that, and like
Yeah.
this weekend we didn't talk about wrestling.
No, no. Well, that's because the podcast almost didn't happen.
It did,
And
I'm not gonna name names.
We're not
but
gonna name
somebody
names.
named O'Reilly.
Well, I was gonna drop a hint of they're not here right now.
But O'Reilly.
But O'Reilly, I think he left with the stuff and he had car problems. But thank you to Scotty D
Scotty D.
for saving Kevin's life.
Next time I expect tacos.
Tacos. We made tacos. We covered you this time, but next time it's on you.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was our weekend. It's Easter weekend. I hope you all had a great Easter weekend. And we're gonna kind of move on with the podcast. I think we haven't really come up with a game plan on what we're gonna talk about.
And I think that's what's cool about the podcast.
Yeah, it's just,
it's not like a topic. Like, okay, we just spent 10 minutes.
It's
talking about
organic.
our weekend.
It's organic. It just goes where it's gonna
Yeah,
go.
and but I like the podcast because
I like organics.
But the podcast is cool because there's never like a topic. We kind of I think one of our biggest things is that we get off topic a little bit.
A lot. We have ADD to the max.
I think it's a general good conversation, and I hope people enjoy it.
And what I do,
I know Dakota liked it.
Yeah,
so
Dakota
that was
did.
cool.
He watched it on a crapper. How much more over can we be when Dakota's sitting on his
I
throne
mean,
watching us?
Listen to us.
That
while
means
shitting.
something to me.
That's great. Listen to us while you're shitting.
Oh my God.
I mean, at least you're listening.
At least you're
right?
listening to us. And the other thing I will say is, even though we do have some ADD and break off on topics, we always seem to wind it back around to the original thought. So if you can if you're like, it's a Kevin Smith thing almost. And we're not trying to take off Kevin Smith. I just think the way we go, he's wonderful to listen to. He'll talk about one topic but cover 7 other subtopics and wrap it back around. And I think that's what we're good at. And it's relevant. So I guess with that being said, what do we want to talk about today?
I don't even know if I want to talk about pro wrestling.
No?
I just hate it so much.
Do you?
Right now.
Why? Like, what?
It's just like if people,
right now, what's your
just-
biggest?
people just ruin it for me sometimes.
It makes it not fun.
Yeah, man. And I'm at the point now where I have my goals, obviously, and
Yeah.
I'm still I feel like I'm still. If I'm not at my prime, I'm almost there. So this is the prime opportunity for me to make.
Dude, I'm
fun.
44. I just turned 44. Check it out. Just hit my prime.
Stop it. You.
I think it's a prime number.
But it's kind of but for the most part, I just want to have fun with it. I'm if I make money, it's great. But I just want to have fun, and I just hate when people fucking ruin it.
Okay. Because there's many ways to ruin an experience if you're one of the guys.
Well,
Right,
first of
'cause-
all, you get this fucking it's indie level wrestling, right? So what the
It's all a bunch of drama
you
queens.
have no business trying to politic in indie fucking wrestling.
No, not when there's 50 people out there.
Come on, give me a break. There's indie companies, and I'm sorry, if any promoters take this personally, but indie companies are fucking dime a dozen. You know what I mean? So who are you to even the boys or promoters? Who are you to politic? Locker room, wrestle who you're gonna wrestle that night. Go out there and have the best match possible and be fucking happy. Who cares if you don't go fucking over? Who cares if the finish was like this at one point, but now the promoter changed it to this point?
And all the little sniveling.
Right, who cares if oh, I'm gonna get I was supposed to get strapped this show and now I'm not. It's bullshit. Who gives a fuck, dude? Just have fun. It's indie wrestling.
And here's the thing too. I think that some people don't realize, right? You have to be smart. You have to be smart, right? So, for example, I've gone and worked places, and they've given me a finish in a main event that has been built up, and I don't like the finish. Now, I don't pout about it. I don't bitch about it. I don't go and cry about it. But what I do is I try to make the finish better, and then present that to the promoter. And if he likes it, he's not gonna. I will say some promoters hate it because you thought of the idea and they didn't, and sometimes they'll shoot it down. But if you have a competent promoter who's competent in your abilities, and if you've been working for him for a few years, you should have some leverage, and change it so it just sounds better and more appealing to the guy you're working, because you need him on board, and then the promoter. And if you could do that in a positive way, not piss off anybody, not cause drama, not run around the locker room like a fucking idiot, then I think that'll help your case. So if that's an issue you're having, try the other approach.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it's
Sometimes people just cause drama for the sake of drama, though.
but then you get like some of these green kids who think like they literally like a minute in the business, if that, and and it's just frustrating because and I won't name any names, but I'll talk about the experience. I was asked to come to a local training facility by
In Chicago. Okay.
To come train, and I went there and trained, and this kid that has had a couple matches was there obviously because he's still training. And do I disagree with him debuting already? I do, just because of
How long has he trained?
I don't know,
Months?
maybe almost a year.
A year. Okay.
But I think it's got to be less than a year, I want to say.
Okay.
But it's frustrating because there was I watched one of his matches, and he did a suicide dive in his match. Okay, cool, like whatever, like you did a suicide dive. Awesome. But then I go to the training facility, and I'm going over spots with them, and I'm doing things, and I work out a spot where I wanted them to do a sunset flip.
The match wasn't opener, was it?
No, it was not. But that's besides the point. So he does. It
is, but it isn't. Because to me, I would have shit all over it for doing a suicide dive.
So anyways,
in
he
the
does a
open.
suicide dive.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, I'm at the training facility. I'm doing the spot, and he's I threw in a sunset flip in there. I want him to do a sunset flip, and he looked at me and says, "I don't know how to do a sunset flip." One of the most.
But you know how to do a suicide dive.
And that's where I fucking lost it.
Mm.
So I fucking told the kid, and I wasn't mean about it, but I told him, listen, man, it pisses me off personally that you're sitting here in your matches and you're doing a suicide dive, but then you don't know how to do a sunset flip, which is one of the most common pinning combinations in pro wrestling.
It's one of the easiest falsies you can hit.
It's a basic move.
Yeah, anyone
and
can
you
do
don't
it.
know how to fucking do it. But you can do a suicide dive, and that's my biggest problem. And I told him
that's more complicated.
And I told him, I said, and that's my biggest problem with you is that you're doing all these fucking things, but you're not concentrating on the basics. And when I started, it was okay. You're gonna sit outside of the ring and not bump at all, and you're just gonna learn how to chain for 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
And then when you got the chain down, then we're gonna bring you in the ring and we're gonna teach you how to fucking bump.
Make you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're going to teach you how to fucking bump, basic bumps. And then I'm going to teach you every basic move. Clotheslines, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't taught, anything cool, in quotes, until, down the fucking road.
Right.
A little bit
And
faster.
was that taught to you by your trainer?
Yes.
Or was that, okay.
Yes. And I was and I was taught a little bit quicker than maybe most guys just because I grasped it.
Yeah.
The general
Some
idea,
people learn faster.
But the general idea was these are the steps. You need to learn how to chain first, and then you need to get in the ring, and then we're going to teach you how to bump. You're not fucking...
Crawl before you walk before you run.
So then, it just pisses me off that this kid, did that, and he doesn't know how to do a sunset flip. So I talked to him. I had to talk with him. I was trying to guide him, and I'm like, listen, man, you're fucking green. You need to learn. You need to do this. Have fucking respect. You're, it's almost like you're getting a big fucking head because you're, the kid's only 17 or something like that. So he's young. He's out there and he's feeling it. And I gave him some advice on his character because, he walks out there like he's the hottest fucking thing ever, like he's fucking AJ Styles, and it's bro, you're green as fuck. You don't know shit. Stop walking out there like you're some
and get your own gimmick anyways.
Right. So then. Literally the next day, we were on the show together.
Okay.
And I'm going up, and this is my fed that I'm always wrestling with, my home fed, And
You can give him a plug. What Fed?
Power Entertainment.
Okay.
In Chicago, and I walk in and like I say hi to the boys and everything, and you know the kid's wrestling in his match, and the guy that he's wrestling, and I just don't want to name drop because I'm not trying to put it on blast or anything. The guy that he's wrestling has more years in the business than I do. He was an active wrestler at that time, but like has recently just started doing gimmick, like kind of just like gimmick matches.
Okay.
You know, like he was a persona, and now like the stories like the owner's throwing him into matches to get him. And
Okay.
So he's like a manager wrestler kind of thing.
Sure.
So, but at the end of the day, he's still like 10-year vet.
Yeah. He's one of the boys.
And this kid walks in and says, "Hey, man," doesn't even say hi to him right away. Just walks up to him and says, "Hey, I'm glad you're here. I have a lot of ideas. When you're ready, let's talk about my spots that I want to do."
Yeah.
And he didn't even say hi. That was the first thing you go up. That was the first thing he said to his vet.
Was the response, we'll call it in the ring?
He said, "All right, man, we'll talk later." And I said, "All right." And the kid's like, "Okay." So he comes up to me, the vet, and he's like, "Yo, like this happened. Because I like kind of help with the booking and stuff like that.
Now, even though we're not saying names, this vet we're talking about is one of the most easygoing
Guy, nicest person in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Like, I even tell him too, like he's too nice, you know?
Yeah.
Nicest
No,
guy in the world.
he is. He's
I
amazing.
tell him all the time, like, listen, bro, you got years. Like, you better like.
He needs to make it to the show also.
Yeah. So, he tells me about it, and I instantly got mad because I just talked to him the night before.
Yeah.
This kid.
And now this shows he's not listening already.
Right.
Yeah.
So I pull him to the side in front of him, and I said, "Who the fuck do you think you are?
Mm-hmm.
Coming up to your vet and greeting him like the way that you greeted him."
Right.
I'm like, number one, you don't call anything. You do what you're told.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah.
And you don't, and you fucking.
How you doing, sir? When you want to talk, I'll be over here.
Right, and then you're gonna.
Nice to see you.
You can't even say hi. You can't even say anything. You're gonna greet him like that, and I was just so mad. And I went over and me and Jimmy talked about it and whatnot, and like we changed the finish.
Right.
We changed it, and
Because the
I
kid's
told him,
attitude.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck this. We're not putting this kid over.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
But that's the old school mentality.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we went over there, and I fucking told the kid, I'm like, just so you know, like. Actions have consequences.
Absolutely.
And like the match was gonna go this way, but now it's going this way.
Yeah.
So like, just deal and go up and do your thing.
Yeah.
And what did he do? I shit you not. What did this kid do?
Pouted.
Walks and sits on the ring and pouted. In front of my, like literally walked away from me, sat on the ring and pouted. And I walked over and I said, "That is the worst thing you could possibly do right now."
Absolutely.
And sit in here and pout.
Absolutely.
The worst thing. And it's just and just shit like that. And I didn't mean to go on a rant, but like.
No, but who are they to feel that way when
like
they haven't done anything?
The shit like that is what makes wrestling not fun.
Yeah.
You know, and then like you get these other people that are like, you know, first of all, the whole show was a fucking cage show. The whole show was a cage show.
Okay.
Right? So like every match is a gimmick.
Right.
It's all in cages.
Right.
So like,
some have weapons, some have.
We're figuring out the lineup. What do we want to go first? Obviously we know the world title is going to be the
last.
event.
Yep.
Okay, so that's where we're working towards. We don't want to have a title match back to back. We need to spread everything out.
Right.
So like we put one of the matches in the open.
Sure. We got to have an open
It was gonna be
anyways.
hot. I knew it was going to be a good match. We wanted the show to be hot. Let's start off hot.
Yeah.
And literally before that, after I dealt with that situation with the green kid, I'm going into the ring because I wanted to check out the cage and whatnot.
Yeah.
One of the kids that was in the match, one of the guys comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, like you help book?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And why are we on first? What do you mean? Well, it doesn't make sense that we're on first. We're doing this kind of match. Nobody's gonna be able to follow us. And I said,
We should be. So what are they saying?
I said, that's good. That's the mindset that I want.
Yeah. Hot open.
Because, first of all, every single match is a gimmick match, so it doesn't matter. Like any match can go first, except for the world title match, obviously.
Right.
You know, it's not like it's not like we're putting a gimmick match to start off the show, and every other match after that's going to be a basic match. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then, and I told him, and I said, I know your match is going to be hot, and that's why we want it first, because we want the show to start off super hot. And I like the mindset of you guys go out there and kill it, and now everybody else has to step up their game, and that's what's going to make the product better. That's what's going to make tonight a better show overall. And he was just like bitching and pouting about it to the point where we even found out too. He went to the after party and was telling people about it, bitching about it,
Just to regular fans.
like. Ironically, he thought he was. I mean, I'll leave all that detail stuff out, but pretty much, yeah, like to regular fans going to Marks and just saying, "Hey, like this bullshit, blah blah blah. This is gay, blah blah blah."
That's the way to get invited back.
And I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, what do you think's gonna happen now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's no. They put themselves in a corner though. But yeah, that's the bullshit, and the same thing, like, and it's bullshit for you because you're part of the company. You take pride in what you're doing. You're helping the booking, and for a guy like me, to drive from Cadillac, Michigan, to wherever 4 hours. I mean, I've been doing this 25 fucking years. To drive 4 hours, to get there 3 hours early, to listen to drama, watch the bullshit unfold. I mean, I'm not saying there. I'm just saying in general, and then to try to have a good match, but you're stressed out because everyone's acting like jerks. And then you just want to get out of there and go home. And like sometimes that's the best part of the wrestling is like, thank God we're heading home, or thank God I got paid today because I just want to get the fuck out of here.
Or half the time you're going to the show and the only thing that's exciting is that, like I'm gonna be able to hang out with Eric tonight.
Yeah, or I got a couple people over there that I really genuinely miss and want to see.
Right.
I mean, I may not feel that way about everybody, but I respect everybody.
And this is like, and I'm not going on, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not trying to
Right.
pick a fight with anybody or bury anybody. So like, if you're listening to this, don't think that. Be mature, be an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just venting right now.
Yeah.
It's,
and this is a podcast on what's wrong with wrestling.
And that's what these are my opinions. And if you don't like them, that's fine. But don't go cry about it. To be a man.
Yeah. Or at least try to. In this business, it's hard.
I get people talk shit about me or say whatever they want to say about me all the time, and that's great. Like, that's your opinion. Like, I don't. At the end of the day, like, I'll take it with a grain of salt and move on.
Yeah. No, I don't care about other people's opinions so much anymore. I just care about mine. It's all about self-gratification now. Sorry, it just is. I spent so many years trying to please everybody else. It's just time to please myself. I pleased myself yesterday, actually. Last night. While you were sleeping, I pleasured Nothing. Thank God you slept through it. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about the Iranian goggles.
What?
They were right on your head.
Oh, God.
Do you see the rash already? That's why your eyes are itchy right now. So I guess, what would this lesson be?
It's just but
act like a professional. It's professional wrestling.
But my whole point was it's just that stuff right there is that what makes the business not fun, and like at an independent level,
it should be about having fun. It ain't about being paid.
Fun. Like, nobody's making groundbreaking money on the indie level.
No.
Like, if you're gonna get, I'm not gonna say none of us are gonna get signed, because you might get signed and God bless, but like, just it's fun. Wrestling's supposed to be fun. You know what I mean?
Make it that way.
I have fun.
And when the locker room's in a good mood, the work shows. The whole show changes. It changes the dynamic. When you get bullshit in the locker room, the show shows that too.
And I'm not sitting here saying that, like, when I go out there and perform, I don't care about my matches because I look at it like, oh, this is just fun and a hobby. No, absolutely not. Like, I go out there and I bust my fucking ass.
Yeah.
When it's time to go, I go. But just like the politic bullshit.
Isn't it funny though? Isn't that
I like when I go first, to be honest with you. I fucking love it. I love it.
My wife doesn't.
Put me on first. That means I can get dressed, I can chill, I can hang out with the rest of the boys. I don't have to worry about my match coming up. Like, I hate going main event,
dude.
Absolutely.
And I'm a 3-4 hour drive, so opening match works pretty good for me too. Because then I'm not pulling in my driveway at 8 in the morning. I'm getting home at 4 in the morning.
But like,
what you just said was really weird though, because like you just said, when you go out there and have a match, it's business. You're doing it for to make yourself look good, make the company look good, make your opponent look good, like the whole thing look good, because you care about the company so much that you put that much into it. And it's weird that people like us like try so hard to help, and so many other people don't try worth fuck and do shit like you said. And but sometimes
they don't care, but then they care what number on the show they are.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's really weird. Like I go out there and like for the first 10 years of my life, it was fighting for your spot on a show. There were so many places. Like you did what was best for the shit.
Well, and the other thing is that like, what's your mindset like being first? Why is that so discouraging? Like, do you think that people are not going to remember your match because you were the first one out there? Well, like, sorry, if people don't remember your match, that's your own damn fucking fault.
Yeah, well, and not just that. Technically, I think opening match to me is the most important match on a card, other than the main event. Like the main event, people are going to remember, but it's up to that first match to get the crowd into it and going. So if nothing else, if I was on later and they said, "Hey, you're going to open," and it's a night of fucking cage matches, and I'm the first thing they're seeing, fuck me, I'm happy, because I know if I go out match 4, they've seen everything.
Yeah.
Now I can.
The main event has the hardest.
Oh, absolutely, because they got to follow like 6 other guys that did all sorts of gimmicks. Like, yeah. The only thing that saves that is the, again, like we said, if the title means something, you can create drama based around that. But the match is just going to be a match.
Right.
So that is I think in a whole thing of cage match, that's definitely the hardest one.
Even if it's not even a cage show, like even if you're just going first, like
set the pace.
Set the fucking pace, and if you're worried about people, remembering your match or whatever the reason is for you not liking going first, that's on you. You know what I mean? I've gone first, and I guarantee you people will remember my match more than
it's all about
the main event. And I'm not shitting on main events that I'm on shows with, but that's just my mindset. I go out there and I try to kill it.
The people that...
Doesn't matter what number on the show I am.
Absolutely, and I think the people that bitch about being on first, maybe it's because they're not getting over, but it's their fault again. Like, you have the easiest opportunity to kind of warm up the crowd if you know what you're doing. Get your character over. Get over with the people. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. Like, you're going to get over. People are going to remember you. I did jobs fucking 5 years through the business. Like, my first 5 years. Job. Was I still selling 8x10s? Yeah. Did I still have my fans? Absolutely. Was I considered a jobber? No. Yeah, I was just one of the guys that went out there and worked. Whether you win or lose doesn't matter. Inconsequential. And, and you're right. That's the attitude that's got to go.
And my whole point, like I said, it's just that's the shit that when I'm around it, it's not fun. It's not fun. I don't need it.
And then that boils down to lack of respect again.
Yeah, it's just do your job, have fun, do your job, go out there and perform. Remember why you got into pro wrestling in the first place.
We're gonna segue.
Sure.
We're gonna segue.
Done with my rant.
No, I know, but I think you're on a roll of venting, and that's cool. We need to do that. I think we favored it pretty good. But here's a question for you, because you've just been doing this with me and a couple other companies now. So you've transitioned from being just one of the boys on the show to booking the matches. Correct?
Yeah.
So you're booking matches now. You're a promoter now because you have your own company.
Yeah.
Right? Fuel Pro Wrestling. So how was the transition? From going from just being a guy who, you show up, you do the ring because you're paying dues, and, you do your matches and you tear down the ring and all that shit. Then you transition to the point where you're not just working vets, now you're becoming a vet and transitioning into a vet on your own. So you obviously understand the way the business works as far as wrestling and having a match and doing that shit. How is the transition from just being a worker to be like, I got to come up with storylines, I got to come up with finishes, I got to fucking, there's going to be some politicking going on a little bit to a point now. It's a little bit different world. And that's a transition itself, and then a transition, because you kind of transition all at the same time, because when you did Fuel Pro, now you're promoting your own company, and now you're calling the guys and booking them. I know you had help. Ego.
Yeah.
Ego was helping you.
Robert
Ego Anthony, who we love, and his wife has such soft skin. It's amazing. I spent like 30 minutes at a bar on I think their birthday, just petting her arm. Your birthday, just petting her arm. But so then you had to do it all, because you're booking, you're promoting, you're getting the word out, you're calling the guys, you're doing the contact, negotiating paydays, coming up with finishes, lineups, music, like you're doing the whole thing. How was the transition?
Okay, so like, it's easy for me to like speak about this kind of stuff because I don't vent about this kind of thing because of what I see, or because of, oh, I see this and this person did that. I vent about it because, like, I was that person when I first started off.
Sure. I think we
You know
all
what I mean?
we all should have
Like,
been.
especially when I was young, the first couple of years, like, I was totally like, oh, why this and why that and blah blah blah. And like, obviously, like, now I get it. My mindset has changed. Like, I view wrestling completely different. Like, I'm more humble than
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I like, so when I started getting into the booking side of it, I knew that, like, I didn't want to deal with that kind of stuff right off the bat. Like, I knew it from the get-go. And what I did was
Where was the first place you did that?
Fuel Pro.
Okay, so it was for your
no,
own.
I actually started helping you book in UWE.
Okay.
Actually, originally.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
I started doing that in 2013,
Yep.
14-ish.
Yeah.
So I started helping you do that. And, like, so that was cool because I was helping you just come up with stories and stuff like that. But, like, with us, it was easy. Over here, it's easier just because, like, we don't really deal with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because you have...
And we're not too serious.
Well, it's not even that. It's just you have, like, a good group of kids that are trainers or
Yeah.
trainees still.
Yeah.
And, like, you book your whole show, which is trainees, and we only bring in a few guys from the outside. So, like, it works.
There's not a lot of damage
There's not
control.
a lot of... Yeah, there's not guys coming in
bullshit.
and being like, hey, like,
Yeah.
my champ.
We're
and
pretty
blah, blah, blah.
selective here.
Right.
To a
So-
point.
And I took that. So when I was booking Fuel, I did the exact same thing where I'm gonna book guys that I know,
Yeah.
and I know are not gonna cause any problems for me.
Absolutely.
Because I just want to have fun,
Mhm.
and I'm just trying to make.
If I can
you
make
know,
a couple bucks
let's
along
make
the
a
way,
couple
God
bucks.
bless.
If the boys make a couple bucks, I just want to put out a good show. So
Well, actually, the first show you did was a fundraiser.
for a memorial for my brother.
So there really was no money to make for yourself.
Absolutely not. No, but I just wanted. But I was still concerned of, because it was the first time we were doing it in that.
Oh,
venue,
yeah,
the first
and it's
time I was
important.
running a show, so I was like,
You got a
man,
lot of
like-
you got a lot of pride on the line.
Right. So I still wanted to put out a good product, and I didn't want to deal with bullshit. So I was booking guys that I knew were good
Yeah.
to my standards, because obviously every promoter has their own standards.
Absolutely.
Mine, if you ask other promoters that I talk to, my standards are a little high
Why don't-
compared to other people's. So, like, when I book my shows, I book it around guys. I book guys that I know are not going to cause issues for me, because I don't want to fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
And my mindset is, like, if I am going to deal with it, I'll just get rid of them. And I'm not going to get rid of them in, I got to write them off, and because they're in a storyline.
Yeah,
Like,
4 months down the road, it's like, see you later.
I'll just get rid of them. Like,
Yep,
the
you're not
next day,
booked.
like, sorry, dude, I don't need you anymore. Like, I don't
Yep.
care. Like, I don't care. Like, it's indie wrestling. It's supposed to be fun, and I don't need headaches.
Yeah.
I don't want them.
No.
So, like,
It's a headache enough
The
putting everything
transition,
together to do
yeah,
a
I mean,
fucking
the
show than to
transition-
deal with the bullshit there.
the transition from, like, wrestler to promoter, I mean, it's hard. Just because I'm like, fuck, like, look at all the shit I have to do now, and it's very stressful.
Instead of just driving a few hours, wrestling, getting
Right.
$50 and or $100
So
and
it's
going
definitely
home.
very stressful when I do that, and this is what I don't get. Like, promoters, like, you have all this fucking stress. You gotta promote. You gotta make the flyers. You gotta book the talent. You gotta make sure the budget's there. You gotta deal with the venue. You gotta make sure setup's ready. You gotta make sure everybody knows the finishes. You gotta do all this, and this. Why do you even want to deal with somebody that's gonna fucking cause problems?
You don't.
Why? If
I
somebody's
don't.
gonna try to politic or be drama and all this bullshit, then
I've
you have
gotten-
all this other shit you have to worry about. Why you fucking worry about this guy who's gonna cause problems? Like, fuck that.
I have literally gotten rid of people because they stand around me on purpose just to stress me out. I used to have a dude who used to just stand by me and give a real weird smile and just fuck with me while I was in the back on my own show stressing out. Like twice, I was like, he's not coming back. He's stressing me the fuck out. Done. I hate attitude. Mm-mm. He still works for us, actually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Good cat, but like just stupid shit like that kills me.
Sure.
I can't take it. I was at a show where we were in Gladwin, Michigan, and we had ODB come in.
Okay.
So this is pre-TNA.
Okay.
And I've known Jesse since ACW days back in Green Bay and late 90s, early 2000. Like, yeah, so I booked her, and she was down at OVW, and I'm like, hey, can you bring a girl for you to work with? And she's like, yeah, absolutely. Brought me Serena Deeb.
Oh, so is that when you met?
That's when I met Serena. So she was sick as a dog. She had a fever.
And now who's name dropping?
I only got 2 down so far. I'll keep track. We'll do a video tally of name drops every episode. So she brought, and Serena was sick, but they worked and they had a great time. But while they were working in the ring, I was up in the back, and at the ice arena in the back, the arena was kind of like down below you, and we were elevated up by the library, but we could look over and see. It was a great spot for the boys. You didn't have to worry about peeking out a curtain. You could just look over the top, and that's where the boys were. So I was walking around, and ODB was working, like I said, with Serena, and one of the guys said, ODB, that must be a man. And I know I think she gets a lot of this, which is really fucking weird because I think ODB is like absolutely. Jesse's beautiful. Jesse's beautiful.
I find ODB very attractive.
She's yeah. We're friends. We're like good friends. So I don't think of her that way, but I think she's absolutely gorgeous to me. And then for some jagoff just to randomly say something about your friend and someone who's working, like done. That was it. They said that, and I'm like, oh. And never booked again. It's that simple, guys. If you're a promoter, it's that simple.
I agree.
Some people stress themselves out about how they're going to do shit because of storylines. Storylines, people can change. That's, do what you got to do as a promoter for the sanctity of the business.
Man. Protect your product. Protect your locker room. Because obviously, every locker room has guys in there that are there for
What's the hardest
and
part?
Loyalty.
What's the hardest part about? How many companies do you book for?
Do I book for?
Yeah.
3, I guess, you include mine.
Yeah. So there's you, me,
Pow,
Fuel. And Fuel. Okay. What's your biggest challenge? Because I know with different ones you're dealing with different people, different parts of the country. Does anything change? Does it stress out like for you? Because when it's you and me, we're friends. We negotiate. We come up with terms, and it's pretty simple to do here. Sure. So and when you do your own, that's as simple because you know what you want and your vision
really
too.
Easy. Yeah, for me, when I do my own, it's easy. When I do when we talk about stuff, it's easy.
Yeah.
When I help with booking with Powell, that's where it's a little hard. Not like in a bad way, just because like Jimmy has a vision and like he runs so much.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and you got to give him props for that. It's
he runs like
stupid
once,
crazy.
twice a month.
Yeah.
So
and before that, he was running 3-4 times a month.
Right.
Like it was,
so like it's hard like booking storylines like that. Really like
always coming up with something that either is continuous or something fresh.
Right. And you don't want to blow your load, so you need to, you're trying to draw it out, and things like that. There's just so many moving elements, and
and there's so many guys.
There's a lot of guys. And
how many guys do you think are on the Powell roster?
I don't know, 30.
Holy shit!
Maybe like not all of them.
Not all active, no, but you have 30 guys to choose from.
That rotate, but. And my biggest thing with Jimmy is just like I think the one thing that me and Jimmy actually have a really good relationship when it comes to the booking.
Yeah.
He trusts me and I trust him, and our ideas bounce very well with each other. Same thing with the other 2 guys that are in there, Joey and Terry. But the thing that I guess the one thing that me and Jimmy, if I did say we had a disagreement,
sure,
would be like when it comes to like what guys to book. Like he has a view like, and like I said, this is where I said like my standards.
Yeah.
And he has his standards. And
sure.
I'm not saying mine are right and his are wrong or
they're just different.
Like that. They're just different, and some things work for him, some things don't work for me. So like he'll bring up guys, and I don't care for them or don't think that we need to bring them in this right now, and I'll bring up guys and. Same thing with him.
Right.
Just, it's always.
So sometimes you're both kind of hitting the wall.
But majority of the time, though, we agree. Like we agree on talent. When it comes, and we agree like directions, and I'm trying to simplify storylines over there a little bit. Trying to help them, like just making less is more concept, and not blowing the loads right away. Because building storylines longer.
Because Powell has always been, for those who haven't followed it or whatever, it's a good company with a good base of guys. It's always so busy, and by busy I mean with the storylines. I always think like it's almost like the transition when they went from WWF to WWE. Like you had your main eventers, you had your mid carders, your intercontinental guys, and then you had your opening match guys, and then it went to everyone's got to be a star. So every single person you see on WWE now is going to be a push star. Everyone's going to get the same amount of attention to a point because of television, right? So I feel like Powell kind of did that a little bit. I think that Powell almost is pushing everybody hard, which is fine, I guess, but sometimes I feel like the gas has to be, the gas has to be pushed on some, and the brakes got to be pumped on other, and sometimes it's just really busy, and I think as a fan, sometimes it's hard to latch onto because you're gonna follow that one guy.
Right. Well, and my whole thing is that, like, my belief is, okay, your main storyline should always be around your title, your main title, so that your world title or your heavyweight title, like, that's number one. So you need to make sure that that storyline is protected, and you need to make sure that storyline that's what comes first. Some guys don't like that because they're not a part of it, so it causes issues. But not everybody can have a storyline. Not everybody can be part of a storyline at that
And not
second.
everyone can hold a title.
Exactly. A title is a prop. It's the promoter's decision of who he wants to be the champion at that time, and what direction, in the view of the company and all that things. And and I think what you need is a solid storyline. Your big storyline should be around your world title. Your secondary storyline should be around your secondary title, whether it's tags titles or another belt. And then maybe you have one more storyline out of that somewhere else lurking around just for some entertainment,
and the rest is just
fill-in matches.
Yeah, you're grooming. The rest you're grooming your new guys.
3 solid storylines is all you need. Not every match needs to be a story.
Absolutely.
Not every match needs to be in a storyline.
It gets confusing. People
Yes.
forget.
Because then what happens is, like, we're gonna do we're gonna do a run in for this match, and this match is gonna be a beat down, and then this match needs a promo, and then this match, and it's like, whoa, like, every match has something, like, it's so fucking much, like.
Yeah.
What the and then by the time main event comes and you're building,
they're spent.
What the fuck am I gonna do for my main event? I can't do a beat down. I can't do a run, and I can't do this. I can't do that. Everybody's just seen all this.
You gotta shoot somebody.
Like, what the fuck?
you gotta kill somebody in the ring.
And that's probably the one thing that's the hardest. Where I hit my head the most when it comes to booking over there is just there's just so much shit going on, and everybody has a storyline, and trying to and it's just like, you don't need it. You don't fucking need it.
Yeah.
Not everybody, and I'm not saying this in a mean way, like, your time will come eventually where you'll be in that top spot, or you'll be a world champion picture, and you'll be in that.
And if you're not champion yet,
whatever. Like, dude, I say it all the time. I don't care if I'm champ. I really don't.
No.
Like,
I don't want another belt for the rest of my time.
I really don't care.
I hate
like,
snapping
if people
them.
decide to put the belt on me, that's great. Like, I take it as an honor.
Sure.
And as a champion, like, I'll do what I need to do as a champion by going out there and busting my ass and putting on the best matches I can, and putting on main event matches, and bringing as much credibility as I possibly
to
can
that company,
to that belt and that company. But it's not. I don't care if I'm champion. I don't need to be champion. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me at all.
Yeah.
I just like wrestling. I like going out there and putting on a match.
And based on Jimmy's track record from running the company with him and Dave, and then just him, and then guys fluttering in and out doing it, I still like working for Pow. I still like working for Pow. Again, like you said, it's just, to me, it gets a little too busy. Like, like, I can be gone for 3 months and then bring me back and then put me in an angle. Like, just let me put somebody over, or, it's always so busy. I don't mind being in storylines, but sometimes I don't need to be in one, because then you kind of stress. Because sometimes you put so much thought. Like, because if it's fun, because if it's like, and as a worker, if it's fun, if I'm in a feud and I'm having fun, for some reason it always gets cut fucking short. Like, it's good, and it's well, I'm just saying, I'm not just saying that
Freedom won.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple I can go, but I mean, and not just for that company. I'm just saying in general. I think the promoters got to really listen to the crowd, and I know normally as a promoter we're running around the back, giving out paydays, making sure everything's ready for that show. But we have a responsibility to listen to that show and see how they're reacting, so we can justify who we're booking, who we're pushing, if they're getting over. Was it because the crowd was good, crowd was bad? Is it their work? Like, because if you don't do that consistently, you're going to slip. The guys are going to slip under the radar that aren't doing you any good, that you're feeling a loyalty to.
Oh, I think, and that's the other thing too, is that sometimes as a promoter, I think they need to listen more to the crowd. Because they want to push, like, a certain dude as a baby face, right? As their main baby face, let's say. And, like, it doesn't work, though, because the crowd doesn't care. So, like, you can't really push this guy, like, to be a baby face, because, like, it's not either his work rate's not there in the ring, or his charisma's not there, or something is missing where the crowd doesn't relate. And and I think that's like a mistake that promoters make.
I have a kid right now, and you know who he is. Right now, I try to push this kid as a heel, but he has so many people that come, they cheer for him no matter who he wrestles. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn him baby, right? Because I know I'm listening to the crowd. Like, other people have to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
It doesn't make any sense. You're fighting against the grain otherwise.
Well, exactly, because the guy brings in 20 people, which is cool. But maybe, so like, and what the thing is that the crowd is like contagious in a sense. So like,
absolutely,
these 20 people are
it's follow the leader,
like fucking crazy for him.
Then I'm gonna cheer too.
Everybody around him is gonna cheer.
Yep.
And it literally does not matter what he does.
Nope.
He can sit here and say, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit.
And they'll be like, "You're awesome."
They'll be like,
yeah. Punch me.
Yeah. So it's just, but that's the perfect example of listening to the crowd. And even like not just promoters, workers.
How many promoters do you think don't listen in general? Because as a promoter, who do you got to listen to? You're listening to, from a business standpoint, let's just say wrestling. You're listening to what? You got to listen to the crowd. You got to listen to the boys because the boys are all talking and in your ear. Like, there's a lot of listening that you should be doing as a promoter. But do you think promoters actually listen? Because you've been around.
I don't think they listen. Sometimes I think promoters don't listen to the right people.
Mm.
So like I think, and I'm not saying, and I don't know. This is just my opinion. So
yeah, we're just generalizing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Over average of all the people we've worked for.
But I think sometimes promoters listen too much to the boys.
Yeah.
Or what the boys want. Excuse me.
And everybody wants something.
Right. And like, oh, this finish would be really cool, or this match, if we do it like this, would be really cool, and this, and like, that's okay at times, but like, for the most part, like, they're really not, they shouldn't determine what direction the match is going, or what direction the story's going, or anything like that. Like, the people should determine it, like me and Terry did a build-up for our match, and I had the idea.
Name drop number 1.
Yeah, I had the idea of, hey, like, I don't want to touch you at all until the match. Literally until the match. Like, I want you to come out, put the boots to me, beat me down. Every fucking show.
Yeah.
Every show, I want you to do this to me. And I literally don't lay a finger on you. No super kick, no punch, nothing.
Right.
But in the back of my mind, I knew that if that wasn't going to get over anymore with the crowd, like, I would eventually change it.
Yeah.
You
adapt.
And it worked out. Like, we kept it going, and when I got my hands finally on him in the cage match, like, the first
they were there.
The people were there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, right away.
You made them want it.
Right. But I listened to the crowd, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the game plan in the back of my mind, like, this what I think we should do.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, all right, if the crowd shits on it, we're going to change it.
Yeah.
I'm not married to it.
You're going to call an audible.
I'm not about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the one problem, is that promoters and workers, they're so stubborn sometimes, where, like, doesn't matter if the crowd doesn't like it. They're going to stick.
They're going to go through the game plan. Yeah.
They're going to stick to their guns. Like, no, this is what I want.
It's like
this is where I want it to go. So this is what we're going to do.
And here's the problem with planning A to B on stuff like that is sometimes you're going to go out there and you're going to try to serve the people chicken, and sometimes they're actually in the mood for fish.
Yeah.
So promoters, you gotta listen more. I try to listen. I think I listen pretty good, actually, to be honest. I think I'm a pretty good listener.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I think you're a good listener.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
You? No, I think you're good. I think it works. Like, and as a promoter, as a worker, like, that's the biggest thing, is listening to your fans.
Yeah.
100%.
No, yeah, because they're the ones that are paying the ticket.
And they're the ones who are going to help you make your product better.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, there's, like, a lot of times where guys, they don't want to boo a certain person. Do you want to keep pushing that person as a heel then?
Right.
You're not getting he's not doing what you're... It's not necessarily his fault, but it's not... His job is to be a heel, to get heat. If he can't do that, then you need to...
And it's a job, and if it's just like anywhere else. If you apply for a job at Home Depot to be a cash register, and they hire you, and you can't work the fucking cash register, you're not probably going to be there much longer unless they... But, same thing with wrestling. I can come in, I can be a baby or heel. Great. Oh, shit, he can only do one. Oh, we'll keep him anyways.
Right.
Yeah, that shit all the time too.
But it's just, for example, like in POW, like I've been a babyface for quite
And
some time.
I like to say I haven't been there for a little bit, but I like the landscape right now.
Yeah.
Of POW, I do.
It's gotten better.
Yeah. You
know,
got a good
because
mix of vets.
we
You
do.
got new guys. You got. I think
For the
things
most part, everybody's there having fun. They
Yeah.
don't- no drama.
Yeah.
Except for a couple little things, but
Yeah.
you know, and for example, like going back to the babyface thing, like I've been a babyface for quite some time now in POW.
Sure.
And I've always, my biggest thing is that
You hoping you twist your ankle?
The moment that twist my ankle. My biggest thing is that I'll continue being a babyface if that's what's working.
Yeah.
The moment I hear it with the crowd that it's not working anymore, and maybe that's me. Maybe I'm just I need to freshen up my stuff, or I'm getting stale. But you know, sometimes you can only be. People can only like you for so long until they get bored, I guess.
Not if you're John Cena. I had to drop another name.
Yeah.
I want to take the lead.
So you know what I mean. So like, and that's been and that's in any company. Like even with you, like I'm heel, and like if it gets to that point where like the crowd is popping for me more than they're booing to me, then like all right, we need to make a change.
And I think we have plenty of time before that happens.
Yeah, I'm not very well liked here at all. Like they do not like me.
So thank you for listening to the Wrestling Revolution podcast. This is one of your hosts, Eric Freedom, alongside Greeko, GQ Suave, saying we will see you next month. Thanks for listening, and spread